Hello Gemini, here is your relationship reading for May 2017. Give me a few more seconds. Okay, first card, Five of Wands, Ace of Cups, Five of Pentacles. So you have two fives surrounding an Ace of Cups. Ten of Cups. The Hangman in reverse. I have Four of Wands. I have a Nine of Cups. I have the Star. And I have a Ten of Pentacles. Now, strong cards here because you have two tens, you have two fives, and I'll pull the outcome card after the main reading. What is pulling my attention here are these cups in the mix here. More so than the major arcana. You only have, from what I can see, two. But you have this Ace of Cups in your past, this new beginning in love, joy, and happiness, okay? And maybe things have been going your way, that you and someone special have been able to work things out, okay? And so it could also mean an emotional beginning, not necessarily pertaining to the relationship, an actual relationship, but maybe the beginning of one, the potential of one. But it is surrounded by two fives. Five is the number of conflict, so we'll get to that. Then you have that Ten of Cups here. You go from 1 to 10. I think that's interesting. But this Ten of Cups, it's the card of family life. Sometimes it's usually 10 is usually that number of closure and new beginnings, and then you start off with the Ace. But now it seems like we're going backwards a little bit, which I think is interesting. And I'm thinking that maybe we're going backwards because of these conflict cards with the Five of Wands and Five of Pentacles, and the Hangman is next to it. So I'm getting a sense of a lot of emotional struggle for you with a relationship for some of you. Especially then this last cup, this last card of cups. Your Nine of Cups is reversed. So once again, we keep going backwards. We go from an Ace back to a 10, and then you go back to a 9, and that 9 is reversed. And this could mean, usually this is the card of contentment and emotional security. You have a sense of well-being. Okay, you're emotionally able to give. You're happy and content. So when I get this in reverse, you need to be careful. It could mean that you are going to be a little bit insecure about a relationship. Someone else, because you're an air sign, there could be a little bit of insecurity. People who are wishy-washy. But I'm definitely getting a sense of someone who emotionally is a little bit inconsistent here, that keeps going backwards. That maybe your emotional connection with someone seems to keep reversing. And even though you keep wanting to have that new commitment and beginning, there are obstacles that keep getting in the way. But still, you seem to have some very positive cards here, especially with that Four of Wands, the Star, and the Ten of Pentacles, which is prosperity, happy home life, just like the Ten of Cups. So that's telling me a lot right now. It's telling me that For some of you Geminis, there is a very strong family relationship, a marriage perhaps that's going on for some of you, and there's some emotional obstacles. Okay, when I start here, you do have the Hangman in reverse. The Hangman is about emotionally letting go and going with the flow. When you have obstacles in your life, it's about overcoming those things, accepting them, and moving on. So when this is in reverse, what the core root of the issue might be here, with all these cups going backwards and then the turbulence, I am getting a sense with the Hangman in reverse that emotionally there are things that you are not letting go, that you need to, how can I say this? It's about, there are things that you're still holding on to, things that you're still angry about, things that are going on that are very difficult for you to accept. Sometimes it just means being emotionally stuck, okay, and not being able to move forward. When the Hangman is in the right position, upright, then it does mean, okay, this is a difficult situation, but it is going to pass. Okay, and so in the midst of your family and relationship issues and your marriage, for some of you, yeah, you've been trying to emotionally hang in there. Okay, and then the future, you still have this star. You still have a reason to have hope. But keep in mind, the star is about having faith and going on your intuition that everything is going to work out okay. So you only have 2 major arcana, and that means that it's not about the outer changes, it's more about the inner changes, your inner struggles, your influence over the situation. Going back to the past, 5 of Wands, lots of conflict, lots of struggle, and other agendas. And I get a sense that maybe this has a lot to do with a fire energy, because then we have that 4 of Wands here as well. 5 of Pentacles. You're still going from a 5 of Wands, huge conflict, Ace of Cups, new happiness. And then you have a 5 of Pentacles where there's maybe a little bit of, how can I say it? Maybe there's a little bit of being alone here. You're alone in love with this Ace of Cups. And it's a matter of waiting for things to, because 5 of Pentacles usually means this is this temporary struggle, that it's not going to last forever. Sometimes it can mean a lot of anxiety and stress. And that's perfectly understandable, because remember, you still have this 5 of Wands, which is about conflict. So as far as love, you have this Ace of Cups surrounded by all this anxiety and conflict, and emotionally you're still trying to stay positive. And it's the same thing here. You have this Hangman in the center that's reversed. This is a struggle emotionally about letting go and trusting, because then you get to the star in the future. So you have a 10 of Cups and a 4 of Wands. This is the card of celebration and happiness. This is in your present energy. So in the midst of your family and relationship and marriage issues, I kind of see, Gemini, that things haven't been good. Things have been a struggle. You still have a strong emotional attachment to this person. Maybe some of you are waiting to be with someone. Maybe there's distance between you two, and you've been struggling, you've been waiting, you've been going through a lot of conflicts or arguments or disagreements. And so when we get to this next row in the present energy, as far as what's going to happen in May or how things will develop, you do have 2 strong cards for happiness. That 4 of Wands is a celebration, so to speak, of getting through obstacles. Okay? And even more, it's about a happy event. It could mean a new baby. It could mean a marriage and an engagement. So along with that Ten of Cups, which I usually see as a marriage or family, symbolizing a marriage somewhere, someone who's been in a long-term relationship that's very serious at least. I'm seeing some family issues here that you are trying to let go. You're still trying to find happiness. But the fact that the Hangman in reverse is surrounded by these two very happy, very positive cards means that there's still issues with this relationship. It's a matter of trusting yourself. It's a matter of moving forward and accepting change, turning that Hangman back around. When we get to your future, I think it's interesting that, remember what I said about these cups going slowly backward. Maybe this is about someone who's pulling away. I don't think you should be worried. I think that if there's an emotional setback, it's going to right itself. The star is showing up to say, have hope, remain positive. This problem is not as serious as you think. We still have another 10, and this is the card of prosperity and happy home. So you've got these cards with family and home surrounding you. You know, in both of these cards, it's interesting. You have the image of the family. You have that home. These are 10 of Cups. You've reached the journey. You've reached the end. You've gotten everything that you've wanted. And so you do, some of you I feel do have that family and children. And you've been in a marriage that maybe had a few speed bumps, and maybe it's a matter of time before those speed bumps work out. And even if you're not in a marriage, it's definitely giving me an issue of a conflict or a situation where it's been very difficult for you to let go, to go with the flow, to see past those obstacles and boundaries, even though things are not as bad as they seem. And some of you may be dealing with someone else who is dealing with family issues. This conflict doesn't necessarily have to address you, but the tarot seems to be dropping these little hints that you should remain positive, and that everything, you still have some stability and you still have a foundation. And whatever's going on, these two 10s here, you go from these two 5s and then these two 10s show up. That's sort of like the tarot saying, you will get to the end of this difficult situation. You should remain positive. Emotionally, things might be a little backwards. You might need to, the situation, someone might be taking a step back emotionally, but it's still no cause for worry or anxiety, as indicated by this 5 of Pentacles and this Hangman in reverse. Those are both cards about having fears and anxieties about something, you know, a big issue or conflict that's happening, and you're kind of scared of what's going on. And it may even make you feel alone at times, or that you're not getting help. So I think it's interesting here with the Hangman and the 5 of Pentacles, indicating that some of you Geminis, mentally, because you are air signs and you think a lot, I think it is an indication that there are relationship issues where you need to feel at home in your own skin, and you need to be reassured that the issues and problems that are coming up with the other person are not going to happen again. So I'm pulling your outcome card, and this is interesting. You have a Queen of Pentacles here. I think that this is another, this could be the energy of another person. We go from a 10 of Pentacles to a Queen of Pentacles, which is quite nice because this is the card of nurturing home and family. It's a strong mother figure, and you see that little dog there. There's also a dog here. I think that's also, dogs are very loyal. They are protectors. So I think it's interesting that you have those cards with the dog there, because I think that's also a very good sign. And dogs are usually with pentacles because they symbolize that stability and that loyalty and that protection, which pentacles are all about. So if you, Geminis, are struggling, and I don't see any swords here, which I think is pretty interesting. I have everything but swords. But I feel that the tarot is saying for some of you, yeah, a little bit of turbulence emotionally. There's going to be a lot of conflict. A little bit of changes in the relationship that are going to be difficult for you to get past, but you will get past them. And once again, I'm looking at your two major arcana. You shift from the Hangman to the Star. And I think that's a good shift. This is all about how you're perceiving this situation, Gemini. And understand that when you can change your reaction to a situation, you change how you see it. It can also change how you solve the problem. So for all of you Geminis who tend to be very depressed and pessimistic, and maybe your emotional energy is being reversed here, you have every reason to trust yourself. Don't overanalyze the situation, and definitely do not react to the situation in fear, regardless of what this other person's doing, because I'm just getting a sense that you are depending on this person to be stable and reliable, and they keep letting you down. Especially when I see the backwards trajectory of those cups, I think that this is the struggle of someone else and not necessarily you. But I think you should use the energy of those tens. The tarot is saying that this is an issue that's coming to the end of completion. The conflicts are coming to an end of completion, and you're going to come out on top. And definitely, if it's another person, this other person, it seems like this other person or another person is going to sort of come and bring stability to the relationship. This could mean not just you or the other person, but the situation as a whole here. Okay, so Gemini, that was your reading, and thank you so much for subscribing, watching my channel, all the wonderful comments, and for those of you, my regulars who got readings from me, I always appreciate it. So thank you very much. Make sure you check out any new promotions. I will be offering my relationship energy reading for $10. It's usually $15, so look out for that. And check out the description of the videos. I have links to my Facebook page and my online appointment book. I've noticed in the comments some of you are wondering, how can I make an appointment? Well, if you can't check out the description, make sure, and you should pause it here, you can contact me at that email, airewand@gmail.com, and I will show you how to make an appointment. So thank you so much, Gemini. Enjoy your spring, and I hope to talk to you soon.